Hello, good day everyone. Welcome to Sir Fox Learning Channel. Our discussion this day is all about psychological first aid. Because of the situation, because of the pandemic na experience ko natin this time, we will be having this psychological first aid. The 2020 online and self-guided psychological first aid modules, which aims to provide teachers and non-teaching staff with a quick reference and guide regarding the proper conduct of psychological first aid when delivered either online or through self-guided modules. And it also aims to equip teachers with additional skills needed in the delivery of online PFA through self-guided modules, and to further develop the competence of the users in delivering PFA using other platforms for the students, and to provide students with venue by which they can discuss their fears, feelings, and anxieties, and to enable students to manage their feelings and reframe their thoughts, and to empower students to look for linkages to serve or to service. And for more infos or objectives, we can see it on your modules for PFA modules. Module number 1 is all about validating feelings and normalizing reactions. How do you validate and normalize your reactions of these situations, of the different situations we are facing right now? This will serve as your preliminary activity. It aims to identify the feelings or reactions related to the pandemic or any forms of disaster. And then, how do you accept that all feelings and reactions are normal and valid? Definitely, since we are dealing with asynchronous discussions, you will be using paper and marker as your output. So, isusulat nyo na lang dyan sa inyong mga papel yung feelings or actions mo about the situations that we are facing right now. Okay? Or activity number 1, graphing feelings. Direction: you will use a sheet of paper and create a graph or pie chart of your feelings or emotions that you have or may have had during all the crisis or situation that you experience. Makikita nyo yung example sa gagawin nyo ito sa page 26, in which on the x-axis, the horizontal line, you will write down there your feelings and emotion, and on the y-axis or the vertical line, you will write there numbers 25, 50, 75 to 100. Okay? For your guidelines, as what I've said, see or refer to page 26 on your modules as your guidelines. So this will serve as your first activity. And after analyzing or graphing your emotions, what did you notice about your actions and in the different situations? Do you think those reactions you had are normal reactions in everything you are experiencing right now? So for us to validate those reactions, we can see on page 27 when terrible things happen. So the first thing there is the common negative reactions that may continue include. So here are some negative reactions that might probably you are experiencing right now. intrusive reaction, distressing thoughts or image of the events while awake or dreaming, upsetting emotional or psychological reactions. These reactions are negatives but commonly experienced. Avoid talking, thinking, and having feelings about the traumatic event. Ayaw mong pag-usapan yung mga bagay na nangyari. And sometimes, nagpa-flashback yung nangyari. And then, feeling of detachment and estrangement from others. Gusto mong mapag-isa, ayaw mong may kumakausap sa'yo. Loss of interest in usually pleasurable activities. Nawawalan ka lagi ng gana. And physical arousal reactions. So, in reaction with that situation you're facing, here are some physical arousal na ginagawa. Constantly being on the lookout for danger, starting easily, or being jumpy, or sometimes you're irritable, or outbursts of anger, or feeling on edge. Madalas kang mainit ang ulo, magagalitin, irritable, and then difficult falling or staying asleep, nahihirapang makatulog, problems of concentrating or paying attention. Lagi kang wala sa sarili. You're not paying attention for everything. Kasi yung iniisip mo, yung nangyari. Then positive notes or changes in priorities, worldview, and expectations. Enhance appreciation that family and friends are precious and important. So think those positive sides of your life, like your family and friends are precious and important. Still they are there. Meet when a loved one dies, here are some common reactions. Include feeling confused, numb, disbelief, bewildered, or lost. And sometimes you're feeling angry at the person who died. Bakit mo ako iniwan? Masyado kang madaya, blah blah blah. Or at people considered responsible for death. Sinisisi mo yung iniisip mo na responsable, bakit yung taong mahal mo sa buhay namatay. Decreased productivity or difficulties making decisions. Walang ka na ng gana sa buhay, kaya hindi ka na makapag-isip ng maayos. Having thoughts about the persons who died even when you don't want to. You're longing, you're missing that person, and wanting to search for a person who died. Gusto mong makita sa panaginip, sinasabi sana makasama ka, magpakita ka naman, blah blah blah. Children and adolescents are particularly like to worry that they or parent might die. Children and adolescents may become anxious when separated from caregivers or other loved ones. So those are some common reactions when loved one dies. Pero paano nga ba dapat tayo mag-react? We should note that this world is a temporary world, and since this is a temporary world, meaning to say, ang bawat bagay ay may hangganan. Ang bawat bagay ay may katapusan. So, sabi nga sa Ecclesiastes, in everything there is a season. A season to live a life and a season to die. Though, what helps para hindi po natin maisip yung mga ganong thinking, mga negative thinking na nabanggit kanina? First, talking to another person for support or spending time with others. That helps. Engaging in positive distracting activities like sports, though right now hindi lahat ng sports ay pwede mong gawin, hobbies or reading, getting adequate rest and eating healthy meals, trying to maintain or a normal schedule, scheduling pleasant activities or talking breaks, reminiscing about a loved one who has died, focusing on something practical that you can do right now to manage the situation better, using relaxation methods like breathing, exercising, meditation, claiming self. So ano ba yung mga hindi naman nakakatulong, which is useful na ginagawa din natin? Ito yung mga hindi nakakatulong. What doesn't help? Using alcohol or drugs to cope. Extreme withdrawal from family or friends. Ayaw mo silang makasama. Overeating or failing to eat. Withdrawing from pleasant activities. Gusto na lang matulog, magmukmuk sa sulok. Working too much. Violence or conflict. Doing risky things, driving recklessly, substance abuse, not taking adequate precautions or taking adequate precautions. Extreme avoidance or thinking or talking about the events or a death of loved one. Not taking care of yourself. So ito yung mga hindi dapat gawin. Excessive TV or computer games. So in response of that feeling na naramdaman. Now, as for me, to validate your feelings and normalize your actions, I think much better that you entrust things into God. Trust the Lord. Sabi ni Solomon in Proverbs 3:5-7, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. And for me, that's the better thing or actions or activities you must do when it comes to that difficult situation to face for. And for you to validate what you are feeling in such situation, since the Lord is in control of everything, entrust it to Him. Yes. Sabi ni Solomon, He will direct our paths. And for your last activity, you should create a reflective journal on how you validate your feelings and normalize your actions to different situations we are facing right now. And what have you learned from this module? So you will be submitting this output, this journal, sa next batch ng pagkuha nyo ng module ninyo. Kaya pag kumuha kayo ng module niyo sa susunod na kuhanan, ilagay nyo sa envelope yung inyong mga outputs of this PFE module number 1. I-collect ko po yan for compilation and report purposes. Kaya start doing your reflective journals, a preliminary activity, activity number 1 and activity number 2. That's all for today. Goodbye.